Hey everyone, in this video I want to draw another eye, but then at a different angle. I'm going to show you how to draw this step by step. And if you want to draw this eye from a front view, this video is also available. I also drew it step by step, so you can have a look at one of my previous videos on my channel. So here I want to draw a side view, or more like a 3/4 view. So first I'm going to see where I'm going to draw the eyebrow. So the eyebrow will be around here, and normally I sketch eyes a bit smaller. This one turned out a bit bigger than I wanted. So I'm going to draw this eye also a bit bigger, just because it will look better together on the page. Of course I can draw it a bit smaller, but I have enough space here. So the first thing you want to do is, I always use guidelines. So then I draw a line for the eyebrow and I look for the placement I want. Where on the page do I want to draw the eye? How big will the eye be? And at which angle? So the eye will be around this angle. Sometimes I find it challenging to draw the correct angles if you're drawing from a reference photo. You can practice drawing angles. You can imagine, if you draw a vertical line here and a horizontal line, you can imagine this to be a clock. So this will be like 12 o'clock, and then here will be 3 o'clock, 6, and then 9. So if you look at this angle, if you draw another line here, I hope you can see it because I have the lines light because I want to erase them. So this would be around 10 o'clock if you imagine this to be 12 and this to be 9. So always, if you think about angles, always think about this vertical line and the horizontal line. So if you have a horizontal line, how angled is it compared to that horizontal line? So if this would be 9 o'clock, then this line, this angle that I drew, would be around 10 o'clock. So I hope that helps. That's just a tip. Helps me whenever I'm checking angles, looking at angles. Maybe something that will help you too. Okay, so draw an angle and corner for the side of the eye. And then around here will be the iris. And then here will be the corner. So the eye from a 3/4 view will be a bit different. So you will see the inner corner here, but you won't see it from the front like this. So you will just see like yeah, it's more in perspective, so it will be smaller. Let's see. The angle, or the iris, is also, instead of a full circle, a circle in perspective is an ellipse, and an ellipse is like an oval shape. So instead of a full circle, you will draw an oval shape for the iris. The upper eyelid curves the same angle as the guideline I drew. So if this is the side of the iris, actually, yeah, so here will be lashes. This eye corner, the inner eye corner, and then how low. So if this is the guideline, the middle line, the lower eyelid is a bit lower. Remember, just draw something now and then you can correct later. So now imagine this to be an oval. And look at the eyeball white to decide how wide I'm drawing the iris, and then check that in your drawing. So here will be lashes, and then imagine that the iris it continues here, but the upper eyelid is covering it. So you can also just draw the full oval shape if that helps you. And then if you have those searching lines, erase them or lighten them. And I always say keep your sketch lines light, so you really need to train your hand to draw loose and light sketches. Because you want to correct. You say I draw the iris, and then I want to draw this a bit higher. This is the waterline, and then the lashes will be a bit lower. And this is the crease below the eye. Here will be a shadow. And the crease line above the eye. Following the angle of the eye a bit. And then here it's straight down, here it curves a bit. And then here on the iris is a reflection, and then the highlight. There's usually a highlight on the iris. Now the eyebrow, so a bit higher. And if you're drawing from the 3/4 view, the eyebrow, you're looking at the eyebrow also a bit at an angle. So this, the front side will be turned. Here the hairs go up. Then here they go to the right. And then here, a bit that angle of the eye. And then how far, look around here. Okay, so once you have your sketch, stand back a bit, or just, so if you have your head really close to your drawing, whenever you're drawing, try to look at your drawing from a further distance, and then check if you're satisfied with how the eye looks. And then you can start to define the sketch and remove any searching lines, unwanted lines, guidelines. Okay, so now with the 2B, if you're satisfied with the sketch, you can start to go over the lines that should be darker, like the crease line. The lash line. And then I usually don't draw lashes in the sketch, so the eye can look funny like this without the lashes. But after I shade a bit, then I add the eyelashes. This is all in shadow. So that's this part, the inner corner, and this part of the eyeball white. It's all in perspective here, so you don't see that. This is all in shadow. Keep the highlight white and then shade a bit around it. And the iris, here it's really dark, so you don't really see an obvious pupil. The shadow around it is just as dark. But keep this reflected light lighter. I'm going to slowly add some shading. Here's a highlight on the upper eyelid, so I'm going to shade around that. Now remember, if you're still a beginner, try to draw as much eyes as you can, just all kinds of different angles, because you can see that drawing an eye at a different angle, maybe you know how to draw a front eye, but the 3/4 view can be very different because you don't see everything. And when you're drawing from a reference photo, try to study that reference photo and draw exactly what you see, not what you think you see. So on this eye, for example, later we're going to draw the lashes, the direction they will be going. We're looking at the lashes from the side, so some will go down, some will face down, and maybe you think, oh, all eyelashes need to go up. So try to study different angles of eyes and notice the direction of the eyebrow, the direction of the lashes, how the iris looks. Going a bit over the eyebrow. When you're drawing hair, try to draw it loosely. Some individual hair strokes. above and below the eyebrow, make it more natural, and not all of these neat hair strokes going all the same direction. I think I can darken there. So next one I'm going to use the 4B. I think the darkest I used here was the 4B. So in my sketchbook I'm not going to go really dark. You can if you like. Nothing right, or there isn't any right or wrong with art. You're the artist, so you can choose, decide what you like, and it's a good thing to experiment, try different things. So if you want to go darker in your sketchbook, try it out, see how you like it, try different materials, try out different pencils, see how that goes. You will only know if you like it or not, or if a certain technique works or not, if you try it out for yourself. So just try, allow yourself to try out different things. See for yourself what works and what doesn't. The waterline also is a bit in shadow. And try to remember the eyelashes will be here, so it can look funny, but focus on the shading a bit first. And I also try to remind myself that whenever I'm drawing something, you're drawing something just to practice, just to get better, just to keep your hand, like train your hand movement. You don't have to expect yourself to create a masterpiece every time, so just allow yourself to draw something and remind yourself of that. That way, when you're not really satisfied, you will be less, you could be less disappointed, because then you think, okay, I was practicing, this didn't turn out how I hoped, but okay, next time I'm going to draw something else. Try to tell that to yourself. Try not to become frustrated or disappointed every time you draw. Try not to put too much pressure on yourself. And some shadow. So just hatching. You can just do hatching, like these back and forth quick strokes with light pressure. And then you don't have to use hard pressure, so light pressure. And then if you notice, okay, I can darken some more, just add another layer of hatching or move on to another pencil grade. Try to train your hand to sketch and shade with light pressure. It's always better to start light than going too dark and then notice, oh, oops, I need to lighten that. It's easier. Now the 4B, let's darken some more. Actually, back to the 2B, I want to add also some shading here to the eyeball white. And let's darken. Actually here this line turned out a bit too wobbly. So I'm going to erase or lighten. So I hold my hand, I change the angle that I'm drawing so it's easier for me to draw this line this way. Maybe for you it's easier that way, so try to hold the pencil what feels the most natural to you. And that's why the more often you draw, you will practice this. And you will train your hand to draw what you want eventually. So you see that I'm drawing longer strokes for the eyebrows. I usually don't draw all of these short strokes. Here they're shorter, they curve up usually. Here's a bit more shadow. Okay, I think I'm going to draw the lashes now. And here this waterline. Okay, so here the lashes. Well, maybe I'm going to blend this a bit first. So you can keep those sketch lines as is or blend a bit, just make it look a bit softer. I also think it's faster, like just use the graphite that's on the stump to spread a bit of that graphite. And then if you want to smoothen even further, then you can use the soft tissue to go over it, but I don't need for this to be really smooth. I also want to keep a bit more like a sketch look. And then here you can use the eraser if you need to bring back like some highlighted areas that are lighter. Okay, so for the lashes, starting here, and then here the lashes go up. And they curve. I'm going to draw really long lashes, so curve up. Here the lashes are a bit softer, more out of focus. So I'm drawing them lighter. And when you go over a lash to darken, try to only go over the base, but not over the tip. Keep the tips lighter, and that will look more natural. And then here's a highlight. Don't really see those lashes. Here they go a bit down. They also go over the iris a bit. You see, by adding the lashes, you really finish the eye that way. So here they curve up. And then some are like grouped together, and then some are more individual. You don't draw all of these neat lashes next to each other. So here they're more grouped together. They go over the eyeball white here. Here they go down. So they're coming out of the upper eyelid here. So curves up, or they curve to the front, and then you just see like this short. So imagine that something is curved, but then you're looking at it from the front. And here you have the lower lashes. So not exactly attached to the waterline, but just a bit lower. And here the same, group some together, skip an area. I'm going to use the stump to blend the waterline a bit. And then you can go over the lashes to darken a bit where you need to. Adding some shadow to the waterline. But then this part doesn't look exactly right. So now that I'm looking at it a bit from a distance, I'm going to draw this part a bit more to the left. So this corner doesn't look right in my drawing. So check that in your drawing. So the eye, the pupil is to the front because the person is looking to the front. So here's the most of the eyeball. White. Remember that eyeball white isn't never exactly white. So shade, always shade that. And then this person is looking up a bit. Okay. Okay, now just step back, see if you're satisfied with the shape, and darken if you want. Okay, now I'm going to go over the reflected light a bit. And then here is also a highlight. I'm just fixing some things, just lighten where I need to, add some highlight, blend the waterline. Okay, I'm just going to go over some of the lashes again, and then I think I'm finished. So remember that drawing eyes at an angle can be a bit more tricky than the front eye. You might be good at drawing eyes from a front view, but then drawing angles, an eye at an angle, you can notice that that's way more tricky. So what you can do then is practice drawing eyes at all kinds of angles. And darken some parts. Eyebrow again. Okay, so I think next sketches maybe of other eyes and angles, maybe also two eyes, because that can be a challenge as well. Drawing two eyes and also at different angles. Then I think I'm going to draw it a bit smaller, because normally I don't draw these large size sketches, because when I draw portraits, the eyes that I draw in those portraits are never this big, aren't this big. I don't draw that big. When I draw a portrait like A5 size like this actually, so then the eyes aren't this big. I think it's also quite challenging drawing it bigger. You need to pay attention more to those details. When you're drawing it smaller, you don't have all of those details. So that's what your eraser's for. Erase if you need to, lighten if you need to, blend, go back, darken. You can tweak your sketch. You don't have to get it all right at the first time, and maybe even when you're satisfied with the sketch and you start to shade and then you notice something, that can also happen. So keep on checking, seeing if you're satisfied. Just like to soften this a bit with the stump. And I actually think I drew the eyebrow too far and I shaded too far here. So that's what I'm going to correct. Just let's see, with the 2B, or let's blend this first. Whenever you erase and you get like these eraser strokes, so just use blending stump to blend that a bit. You can also use the kneaded eraser if you just need to lighten a certain area just a bit. If you don't need to erase fully, then I like to use the kneaded eraser. Okay, I think that's a bit better. I'm satisfied with how this turned out. And I always, yeah, when do you call a sketch finished? When do you call a drawing finished? I can always just continue some, yeah. I'm calling this finished And I also, if you're used to drawing realistic, drawing a more sketched way can also be challenging. So I'm challenging myself to draw an eye more sketched, and I think this turned out more realistic than I wanted. That's why I'm not going darker than the 4B. You don't have to. If you're drawing realistic, you want to go really dark and all the way up to black. So I'm not going to do that with my sketchbook drawings. Again, for the next, I do want to sketch it a bit smaller. And if you're also drawing in a sketchbook, you can even draw here. I have this this ring, so it's not really, yeah, I can, but I'm just going to move on to the next page. Maybe draw some more eyes, or maybe 2 eyes, maybe other facial features before I draw portraits. I hope you were able to follow along with me step by step. I hope I didn't go too fast or didn't explain things. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to help, so let me know. And if you have any ideas for some other videos that we can draw step by step in a sketchbook. And remember that if you want to learn more about realistic drawing, there are lots of videos step by step in the membership, learning how to draw, starting from the basics, learning how to shade realistically, learning about value, learning about details. So if you want to learn more, you can join us in the membership. I really hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you in one of the next videos.